Good morning. Hello everybody. It's Connie from Faff Designs here. I'm in the UK and it's morning where I am. Let me know where you are, where you're watching from, and what you're up to today. So I thought I would just pop on and show you what I'm currently painting in silk, which is behind me. I have it's quite low, I don't know if you can see the very bottom, tip you up, there we go. So it's quite a smallish oak cabinet made up of oak veneer and some solid oak. And I'm going to go through with you today the steps that I've got so far to get it to this point ready to paint with silk. So I know there's still like a little bit of confusion about the prep for silk, what you can and can't do, or what you should and shouldn't do. So I thought I would just go through what I've done so far with this little piece. I think I'm going to be painting the inside. I'm possibly going to be adding some detail to the drawer sides as well. So there's a couple of different things that I have done with regards to prep this piece. The first thing is I removed all of the hardware, or I got my son to remove all of the hardware. Morning, Linda. Let me know if you've got any questions about silk. So I actually got my 4-year-old to take all of the hardware off. I'm training him up to be hardware specialist, so he can take all the hinges and handles off. So that'll be handy. Took all of those off, put them in a pot, and got them out of the way. Then I took my Dixie Belle White Lightning, which is a granulated formula, specially for cleaning furniture. You add that to warm water and you give your piece a really good clean with that. And you'd be surprised how dirty pieces are. This came from a lovely local lady's home, which was immaculate, and it's still dirty. So although you can't physically see, there might be grease or fingerprints or a build-up of cleaning products that have gone on top of that piece over the years, and White Lightning strips all that off. Make sure you wear gloves when you use White Lightning because it's good stuff. So that's what I did. Cleaned it thoroughly with White Lightning. And then one of the most important things is rinse the White Lightning off. So I chucked my White Lightning away, got a clean bucket with warm water and a clean cloth. I use these microfiber cloths for a lot of things. I buy them in bulk off Amazon because I use them to death, and then when they're finally given up and use them for paint spillages and rags, I toss them. So rinsed it off with rinsed off the White Lightning with clean warm water. Obviously let it dry. So I knew this was originally a very, very dark varnish on top of here, and tough. Hello, Jackie. A really, really tough dark varnish. So I spent most of yesterday prepping this, amongst doing other jobs as well. It was sort of in the background getting worked on. Thanks, Linda. It's my new Dixie Belle t-shirt. I have got a long sleeve t-shirt underneath because it's a bit nippy this morning. So, and I've also got an apron on, which is, I mean, look at the state of that. I think I might need a new one. So there's been like I say, I've prepped this the same way as I would up until this point. So taking the hardware off, clean with White Lightning, rinse the White Lightning off. Then I decided I would quite like to paint the inside. So I'm going to do black on the outside, which is Anchor in the silk range, which is this one. And I think, hi Liz, I think I'm going to do a contrasting colour on the inside, possibly a pale neutral. So I'm thinking maybe Endless Shore. Let me know what you think about what colour I should do the inside. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm not made my mind up. So anyway, I decided I want to paint the inside. Now, what you need to do is scuff sand with silk paint. So 9 times out of 10, you clean, you scuff sand, and you can paint. However, I'd had enough of sanding last night, and I certainly don't want to be sanding inside of drawers. So what I have done, I haven't got oyster, Linda. I haven't got any oyster, I don't think. So that's out of the question. What I don't want to do is sand in here. My sander is quite big. It's quite a chunky beast. And it's set up on a hose system, an extractor hose, a vacuum thing. So it just can't get in the drawers. And I don't sand by hand a lot of things unless it's sort of like the recessed detail where I just run a bit of sandpaper over, because I have a problem with my eyes. I can't get dust in my eyes. It really, really sort of flares them up and they go a bit rancid. So I've used Slick Stick. So if there is a really slick, shiny surface that you can't sand for medical reasons, or some people suffer with carpal tunnel, which I also do, I think I'm ready for the knackers yard. I've got dodgy eyes, I've got dodgy arms and wrists. Anyway, so if you don't want to sand for whatever reason, and it's a slick surface, it's a non-porous surface, which this wasn't, it's a really hard wearing varnish, you can use Slick Stick. So Slick Stick is a Dixie Belle product. Let me turn it round with my gammy arms. So it's, I need a pair of goggles. The problem is, Jackie, I have goggles. I have to take, because my glasses are they've got this weird frame on them. I have to take my glasses, I'm in the wrong business, yeah, tell me about it. So I have to take my glasses off to put goggles on. I can't see. I mean, I'm pretty useless without these bad boys. So I put my goggles on, then I can't see what I'm doing. Then I have to keep taking my goggles off and put my glasses on. There's dust flying around everywhere, so it just doesn't work. Hence the reason I got my sander with my dust extractor. It was a hefty investment, but I was really, really suffering with my eyes. And I've got a condition with them anyway, which means I have to be really careful. So yeah, the dust thing. So if you can't sand for whatever reason, it's not a piece that you can sand. So it's laminate, or it's plastic, or it's IKEA furniture, or you want to do something decorative with glass, then Slick Stick is your product. So this is a gripping primer, it's an adhesion primer, and you can use this instead of doing the scuff sand. 9 times out of 10, I will always scuff sand the piece of furniture that I am working with, because this is wood. So to sand the outside of this for me is a, it's not a hard job with my electric sander. But like I say, there are exceptions to the rule where you might be painting something that isn't wood, or you can't sand for, like I say, medical reasons. So you can use this. So I've done 1 coat of Slick Stick yesterday, last thing, and I need to do another one. So you can see how tough it is. That's where my other half dropped. He walked past and dropped a bucket on it last night. He didn't apologise. He looked at me and said, "What's that there for?" That's not what you say, is it? I'm in my workshop. He walked past and dropped something on a wet piece of furniture, and instead of going, "Oh, sorry," and moving it, or even just saying sorry, that would have solved the problem, he said, "Why is that there?" Because I'm working on it, that's why it's there. Anyway, so you can see how tough the Slick Stick is already. So the instructions say to do 2 coats. I've always done 2 coats because that's what the instructions say, and I do as I'm told most of the time. So I'm just going to show you basically how easy it is to apply Slick Stick. Look, this is how messy I am. Got it all over my fingers already. And this is the product. Leave Andy alone. I won't. You don't have to live with him. You don't know what he's like. He's a pain. This is the product that I dropped on Friday last week. So it was gummed up like all my paint pots are. I bashed it on the floor. The lid wasn't on properly. It was like stuck on a little bit with paint, and it went all over the floor. So that'll serve me right for not looking after my stuff, won't it? It's always good to use an old brush, or a cheaper chip brush, but I'm using this one because, again, I don't do it. Don't do as I'm. Don't. As Chris Dorner says, do as I say, not as I do. So I am using a Dixie Belle flat brush for now, but that's only because I don't have a chip brush to hand. And my stool is squeaky. I don't have an issue. It's a squeaky stool. So, can you even see what I'm doing? There we go. So you just paint it on. It's water-based. It cleans up with warm water, like the paint does. And I'm using white because I am going to be going for a pale colour on the inside. I don't know what yet. Let me know what colour you think. So like I say, Slick Stick is a gripping primer. It basically eliminates the need for me to sand inside this drawer, which I'm not a fan of doing that. Little fiddly things, not for me. If I wanted to, I could have Slick Stick the whole piece, but I didn't. Morning, Lorraine. Hello. So if you just joined me, I am going to be using silk. I'm just showing you today the inside of a drawer that I'm using Slick Stick with instead of scuff sanding. Because my sander doesn't physically fit in these drawers because it's too bulky. And I'm not doing it by hand. Because I don't want dust in my eyes. So once you've done the second coat, you need to leave this to dry overnight. That's the instructions. I've always stuck with the instructions and it's never ever failed me. So I've used Slick Stick on a fair few projects, you know, where there's like a high shine factory finish, a laminate, a really high varnished glossy piece. I've used it on glass. So there's a lot of it helps you on you know, a lot of projects that you wouldn't ordinarily be able to get paint to adhere to. So that is all there is to it. That's the second coat of Slick Stick. I've got 3 drawers. I'm not going to do them all because you get the idea. And then I'm still looking for suggestions about the colour that I should do in here. No one apart from Linda has hit me with anything yet. And she said oyster and I haven't got oyster. So it's not oyster. So that's Slick Stick. That's going to help. Well, it will make your paint stick to surfaces without the need to scuff sand if you can't scuff sand. But if you can scuff sand, then scuff sand and you don't need this. So that's that. Let me put that out of the way. I should really have a bucket to put that in, but I haven't. So anyway, the colour that I'm going to use on the outside is Anchor. That's for sure. I'm definitely going to be using Anchor, which is a true black, Baja grey on the inside. Could do. I have all the colours apart from oyster, I think. Yes. Could do Baja grey and black. That would work. And I actually like Baja grey. I actually like all the colours in the silk range. And I'm normally a bright colour person, so but they are beautiful colours. So, I've got a brand new brush. How lucky am I? I've got a brand new Dixie Belle Mini. So, I know you've probably heard this a million times, but for those sitting at the back, those that haven't heard it, silk works best with a dry synthetic brush. That's the best finish that you're going to get. So silk lends itself really well to a perfectly polished finish. One colour finishes, block colour finishes work really well with silk. There are decorative things that you can do with silk. Any of the Dixie Belle products work with silk. It doesn't mean you can't do them, but why would you when you've got chalk mineral paint? That's what I think anyway. So there are things you can do. I've done a whitewash with silk. Jodie from Decorous Vintage Designs has done different things with silk, blended with silk. Sun-kissed, interesting. I haven't used that colour before. Haven't used that colour yet. Or the sandcastle as well. That might look quite nice. Interesting, Jackie. Interesting. Yeah, I could go with a warmer tone, couldn't I? That might work actually with black. And then I'm keeping the top. So I've sanded the top completely back to the oak. So I'm keeping this. I'm either going to stain it or wax it, or I'm not sure yet. I really don't know. So that could work. But yeah, so a dry synthetic brush, you can do different things. Of course you can do different things with silk, but why would you when you've got chalk mineral paint? That's what I say. So you've got the chalk mineral paint for all your decorative, your blending, your texture, all of the things. And then you've got your silk for your clean looks, your block colour finishes, your one colour finishes, your smooth finishes. So it lends itself. You've got two products that do their own thing. So yeah, I tend to use silk as it's intended. So like I say, a one colour sleek finish, and it does the job amazingly. It's got a built-in top coat, so you don't need to top coat this afterwards. Once you've done it, you prep, you paint, you're done. You don't need to top coat. You can if you want. If you want to change the sheen level, which is sort of like an eggshell finish, you can do that if you want with any of Dixie Belle's clear coats. You can add those. You can add hemp oil. You can add Big Mama's butter if you want a bit more of a sheen. But you don't have to. It has a built-in top coat, and it's really, really tough. It's really durable. It can be used inside. It can be used outside. So I've used it on a garden gate. I use this, I use Silk in Serenity on my garden gate when we got silk, which was last summer, I think. Can't remember. Can you, Linda? In the UK. And it's weathered amazingly well. I did one coat of Serenity. It was previously painted with a garden paint. So I did one coat of Serenity. It's wintered amazingly. The kids bash it. I drag the bins past it every week. It gets a lot of use. And obviously, you know, in the winter here, we have a lot of rain, a lot of frost. We've had quite a lot of snow this year. And it looks brilliant. I did the other side. It looks as good as the side that I painted last summer. You can't tell the difference. So it's UV stable. It's got an anti-mildew product in it, which means it's great for outside projects. So it's a really, really amazing paint. I'm just going to quickly show you if I can get this round. I can't remember what I did yesterday, Con. No, it doesn't surprise me, to be honest, Linda. I have to tell you what you did yesterday. So, the bits that I have decided that I'm painting, which is everywhere apart from the top, has had a scuff sand. And what that means is, I've done it with my electric sander. You can do it with an electric sander. You can do it with a hand sander. You can do it by hand. You can do it with like a sanding pad like this. Don't judge me on the state of that. Or you could, like I say, you can do it with the electric sander. Mine is, let me just shuffle you back a bit. Mine is a Festool because, like I say, it has that dust extractor system. It's basically a Hoover attached to it, but it costs a fortune. It's more expensive than my actual Hoover in my house. And it's a big old thing and it sucks the dust up. So I've done that with that. To scuff sand doesn't mean take it back to raw wood. So you can see the difference here. It's all made out of the same stuff. So this is taken right back to the bare wood because I want to keep the wood pale and I want to keep the oak top. This isn't. So that sander is quite aggressive. There are places where it's paler than others. Can you see? Little places where it has gone almost back to that. But I just ran it over really, really quickly with my electric sander. I'm not going to turn it on and I'm not going to do it But it is literally as quick as this. You're just giving it a scuff sand. That's all you have to do. Just pass it over once or twice to basically break up the existing finish on here, which in this case was a varnish. Now, the only time that differs is if you've got wax on your piece. So if your piece is previously waxed, you need to basically take all of the wax off your piece before you even start. So that's the first thing you need to do. So this only applies if it's previously varnished, previously painted, or whatever. That sanded oak top is gorgeous. If you leave it, does that mean leave it raw, or will you wax it? I don't know, Jackie, I don't know. You should know by now. I don't have the plans. I don't know. I'm not going to leave it raw. I will either wax it. So depending on what I use, this colour will change. So if I use hemp oil, it's going to go slightly darker and it might go a little bit more warmer. If I wax it with clear wax, that'll keep it as close to this colour as possible, as it is now. A clear coat is also going to make it a slightly bit deeper, but not too far off this. So it depends on the product as to the finished and what you want it to look like when it's finished. I don't know whether I might even stain it a bit darker. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Tell me what I'll do. I might use, I've got some Voodoo gel stain. I've got no paint gel stain. I've got wax. I've got all the things. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. That's not what I'm going to do today, though. I'm going to show you how to, well, I'm going to use silk on this bit. So it's pretty low. I wish I could just hold it there, but my tripod is cocked up, so I can't really. Unless, maybe I could. Would it be really silly if I put a paint pot underneath it? Is that going to, like, tempt fate and make it fall? Yeah, I don't do it. I'm going to have to just tilt you back. You're just going to have to look here. So, like I say, oh, I should have opened this beforehand. Oh, no, it's okay. It's quite a newish pot, and I've not, like, gunked it up yet. So, you dry synthetic brush. This is brand new. And I haven't washed it. So, with all new brushes, you will probably find you shed a couple of bristles. It's a good idea to wash your brushes when they are brand new. But I didn't. Just couldn't wait. Just couldn't wait to crack it open. You think hemp oil. So that's going to make it... That's going to make it a bit darker, a bit warmer, a bit more sort of like a amber tone. I could do that. I don't know. And this is Anchor. A lot of people ask if it's a true black. It is a true black. Oh, I better just make sure there's no... I did clean this back off last night. So once you've sanded, obviously you're going to have some dust, a bit of dust on the surface of the piece. So you just need to basically grab a dry, clean microfiber cloth or a brush and just make sure there's no dust on it. It's not too bad for me. And all you need to do is get some product on your brush. And people have been struggling with how much to load their brush up with. It's hard to tell you how much paint to put on a brush. But, hello, Sue. So it's hard, but you get a feel for it. It's a different paint to what you're used to. It's different to chalk mineral paint. It works differently. You don't add water to this. You use it dry. So you don't need to add water. In fact, don't add water to silk at all. And you get a decent open time with it. You get enough time to lay the product off and to get that really, really smooth finish. Excuse my head in the way. I'm going to paint this lip under here because I am. Excuse my head a sec. What are you up to, Sue? This paint also self-levels, so... Hello, dog. Dog's just wandering in and out, as they do. I don't know how low you can see. Oh, back out. Yeah, a bit indecisive today, she is. She doesn't know whether she's in or out. So all I'm doing is hardly applying any pressure at all on the last thing that I do, and basically just keep all the brush strokes in the same direction, and that's just allowing the paint to sit as flat as it can. But like I say, it self-levels, so it's a really, really good finish on this paint. It's so good for commissions, because a lot of people who want commissions just want, you know, a thing painting grey or blue or whatever. So obviously you don't have to top coat with this. So you paint it and it's done. The natural top looks fab with Anchor. Yeah, I know. I love a bit of oak. Love a bit of oak. What are you saying, Sue? Where are you? You're painting a stag dressing table, getting the Zinser out again. See, that's the thing about silk. It has a built-in stain blocking primer as well. So if you have a piece of furniture that has a bit of might be susceptible to a bit of bleed through, this paint actually has a primer built into it, which is the equivalent of using one coat of Boss. Excuse me. Boss, I've got a hiccup. Not a great time to get the hiccups on a live video, is it? So Boss is another primer from Dixie Belle, which blocks odours and stains and bleed through. So if you have a piece of furniture which would be a bleeder, so this might bleed if I was painting it in a lighter colour, you can be pretty confident that silk is going to stop those bleed through issues without having to use a primer. If you know your piece is a real bad bleeder, then you can use the primer. If you've got it, it saves you paint, but you don't have to. And not every piece is the same. So it's really hard for me to say you wouldn't need this or you wouldn't need that. It's dependent on the piece. So I know from my few years of experience what pieces would tend to bleed, and I would use Boss because I have it in my toolkit. I have all the dogs are just literally walking in and out. I have all the colours in Boss, so because I'm a painter, that's, you know, I have the kit. So but if you don't have Boss and you want to paint something for yourself and it's a pale colour, you don't want to buy two products, you can just buy silk, and 9 times out of 10 it'll stop that bleed through. Like I say, there are pieces that probably just deserve to go on the bonfire, to be honest, and they're just going to keep bleeding, and yeah, just burn them. So those pieces, you're always going to get them. I've had them. I know professional furniture painters that have had pieces that have just bled, and no matter what you do, whether you use Zinser or Boss, or, you know, you use 2 coats of Zinser, 3 coats of Zinser, and it's still bleeding through. It's just the nature of the piece. But as a rule, like I say, silk has got that stain blocking primer, which is equivalent to 1 coat of Boss. So for most pieces, it's going to stop that bleed through for you, which is amazing. So you can see this is just starting to dry. It's going to need 2 coats because I always do 2 coats of paint on pieces at least. I'll try and bring you in a bit closer. You can see how good the coverage is on that. And yeah, I really like it with that paler top, actually. It looks quite modern. Yes, Sue, you must try the Boss. I insist. It is, what time is it here? I don't actually know. I'm not sure. Can't see a clock. Let me have a look. 11:30. Is it 11:30? Yeah, about 11:30 here. So I know I'm early for a lot of you guys in the US, but 11 o'clock is kind of the time that I do my lives. So you can see the finish on that. The coverage is awesome. It's not going to take any time at all to paint that. I'm going to do the back of this as well because it's only a little piece. So I'm going to do the back, and that's that. So I just thought I'd pop on and show you that, and then I'm going to paint the inside. I'm still undecided about what I'm going to do with the top, about what I'm going to do with the inside. Still not sure, but I just thought I'd run you through a couple of different things that I've done to that. So there's not an answer for everything, you know. There's not one thing fits all, one size fits all, as so to speak. I've used slick stick on the inside of the drawers. I've scuff sanded the outside. I've stripped the top right back. So I've used lots and lots of different used lots of different things depending on basically what I'm going to do. And I ain't sanding the inside of those drawers for any money in the world. Silk is awesome, isn't it? Yeah, really, really good. You're loving the natural top. Yeah, me too. I think I'm going to keep it pale, I think. Still not sure. Like I say, not decided. All the doors are off. I've slick sticked inside the drawers, ready for painting. I've also sanded right back because it was all really dark varnish. So I've sanded the sides of the drawers as well to match the top. So I think I might do some stenciling on here for some like peekaboo drawers, possibly in the new silkscreen stencils with Dixie Belle. So yeah, I've got a couple of projects on the go, and that's one of them, and that's in silk. My other one is over there, which I will be doing a live on my page, my own business page, Faff Designs, later on today at 1 o'clock. So that's completely different. That's bold, that's bright, that's rustic, that's old. We're going for it on that other piece. And this piece is a little bit more refined. And that's why I like my job, because I get to do lots and lots of different things. If I did the same thing all the time, I think I'd be bored. So that's that. Make sure you head over to my Facebook page, Faff Designs, because I am running a competition over there. Well, a giveaway. It's not a competition. You haven't really got to do a lot. For some free paint, and you can choose silk if you want, or you can choose chalk mineral paint. Any of the 16-ounce tubs. You can choose the colour of your choice. All you got to do is sign up to my newsletter on my website. So if you go to my Facebook page, scroll down, find the giveaway, and it'll tell you there what you've got to do, basically. But yeah, if you pop over to my Facebook page, I'd love if you could like or follow me. That would be grand. And if you did want to purchase anything today, you can do that in the link above my head, which basically earns me a little bit of money from each sale. Doesn't cost you any more, but allows me to keep going, keep creating the content. Or you can find a local retailer, which is also above my head, the link above my head, and you can shop local and support your local retailer that way. So I hope that's been a little bit helpful. If you're watching on replay, make sure you put hashtag replay in the comments. If you've got any questions about silk, you can drop me a message, and I'll be back next month doing a different live on a different project with silk. So I'll catch you then. See ya.